to this EdTech tutorial on how to use Google Hangouts, also known as Google Meet. I'm going to show you how to create a Google Hangout, how to get into a Google Hangout and use its features, and also how to share a link to the Google Hangout with others you may want to participate in it, such as other teachers, students, and their parents. So you'll notice I have my calendar open right now, and that's because that is the easiest way I know of how to start a Google Hangout. So you're going to want to find any blank space that you have, the place where you're going to have the meeting, and you're going to click in that space to create a new event. Now, I normally create all my events in this little thing here, but I'm going to click on more options this time so that it's a little easier for you to see where that's going to be. So I'm going to put Google Hangouts. Now you would title this whatever you want to title it, second period Google Hangout, second period office hours, whatever it is that you want to call it, that's what you'd call it. And you set up your time. I'm going to set mine up for an hour so I have enough time for my meeting. You can add guests over here. You don't have to do this though. The only reason you'd want to do this is if you want the people who are going to be in your Google Hangout for it to add to their calendar. So this is when I'd recommend using the adding people. I would only use it when I'm adding coworkers. If you're going to have a Google Hangout with your students, I would not recommend adding all of their addresses or those of their parents and add them as guests. It's more time than it's worth, and you can share the link. I'll just show you how to do that in just a second. So now the other important thing you have to do to make this not just an appointment, but a Google Meet is to go here to this little video camera where it says Add Conferencing, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on Hangouts Meet. Now what that's going to do is it's going to make this a conferencing appointment. Now all of your appointments, when you set them up in Calendar, will default to do this, but it's helpful just to make sure that it's ready to go. So now if you clicked on this link here, it would take you right to the Google Meet. We're going to get back to that in just a second. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And you'll notice that now it has populated into my calendar. So now when I want to give this link to someone else, when I want to share it with students and their parents, I would click on this and I would click here on Join Hangouts Meet. Now if I click on the link, it's going to take me right to the Hangout. We're going to get to that in a minute. But if you see over here, there's a copy this conference link to clipboard. So for those of you who aren't on computers very much, all it's going to do is it's going to store this address in a place where your computer will remember it. So you're going to go ahead and click this, and now you'll want to go immediately to wherever you're going to want to share that link. Some of you share links and information with parents on email. Some of you do it in Parent Square. Some of you use Google Classroom. Some of you use remind.com. And there may be even other ways that you share information with parents. That's where you're going to want to put that. So now I'm going to give you an example of how that might look if you were going to share it in a Parent Square message. So I have logged into Parent Square, and now I'm going to create a new post. I'm going to click up here, and now I have a blank message to create to send out to parents. Because I don't have students this year, I don't have a place to show you this, but for you, if you click here on this little menu, you'll see that you have an option of choosing multiple classes that you have available to you. But because I don't have students, I can't see that. You can also start typing up here in the to, and it will tell you who can see this information. So I could put in my class or period 2 or whatever it is, and it would show up right there. So now I'm going to pause and I'm going to compose a message. So now I have composed a message to my students. In the subject, I put that I was inviting them to a Google Hangouts for my class. I have written a note to talk about what the Hangouts will cover. So I've listed all the different things that I'm going to talk about in that meeting. And I have left to myself a place to put the link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the link in this box. Now you can paste by right-clicking or by Control-V, because remember what you did before. You went to the calendar, you clicked on this, copy the conference link to clipboard, your computer told you it was copied to the clipboard, Now you go back to Parent Square and you copy paste. So I'm going to paste this in the little spot right here. Whoops, I pasted it twice. And now that is a live link that parents can click on and students can click on to join the Google Meet. They have to be logged in to their school account in order to be able to join the meeting. So I'm going to add a little note that tells them that. So now I've added the rest of my message here and I am ready to send the post. So I could do this, post now. I could send at a user preferred time. That's when the parents have decided when they'd like to get their messages. And the do not notify is not one I'll ever want to choose for a message like this. Then I would go ahead and hit post now. Now I can also click on preview and that's going to tell me what it will look like when it sends to students. Now one thing you want to be careful when you're in the preview screen is that you don't hit the back button. If you do, what's going to happen is that your entire message will erase. So what you want to do instead is hit hide preview and then you'll go back to your message. Now I'm ready to send my message. So now all of my students and parents have the link to be able to join the Google Hangout. So now let me show you what that Google Hangout will look like. I'm going to close my Parent Square message and I'm going to go back to Google Hangouts and I'm going to go ahead and click on this link right here to join the Google Hangout. So I'm going to click on the link and now it's going to give me some choices here. It's going to say my camera is starting, so now you can see my face in the picture. It's also going to give me the option of turning off my microphone and turning off my camera. Now, if you don't want people to see you, you can turn off your camera. And what will happen, and I'll show you in just a second, is that your little icon up here will appear instead of your face. And we'll see that in just a second. You can also turn off your microphone. And that would be something you'd want to do unless you're going to be answering a question. Because, for example, right now, there are birds chirping outside my backyard. My dishwasher is running. If you have little brothers and sisters at your house or little kids at your house, that noise in the background is going to be distracting if there are a lot of people in the meeting. So that's a good etiquette to have when you're in a Google Hangouts. So now I can click on Join Now. And what you'll see here is my icon. So if there were more people in here, there would be a panel of people on the side. Now there's also an extension that you can add that will add this little icon up here at the top. And what that does is it puts everybody in a grid on your page. Now that's not normally a part of Google Hangouts. So let me show you how to add that. So now I've gone to the Chrome Web Store and I'm going to be searching for Google Meet Grid. And now what you'll see here is you have the Google Meet Grid view, and that's what you want to add. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. It's already added to my Chrome, so I don't need to, but yours would say add to your Chrome. And what that does is it gives you this grid feature to be able to see everybody in your meeting all at the same time. So now I'm back in my Google Hangout and I have a few features. You can see how the concentric circles are appearing every time I talk. That's showing me that my microphone is live. Now I'm going to go ahead and mute my microphone so you don't have to look at that. You have captions available to you. You can present your screen. So if you're the teacher and you want to show students where to find something, you can click on that. Your computer will ask you for permission to share your screen, and it will also tell you that you're sharing it. It'll give you warnings, and you can turn it off as well. You also are going to have these little three dots down here. So you have some options of changing your layout. This would be opposed to doing the, an alternative to doing the little grid thing. You can go full screen, you can turn on your captions. Your settings really don't give you a lot of information. It's just audio and video options. You could use a phone for audio, and then we have report a problem and helping. Also on the top here you have your participants. It will show you all of the people who are involved in your Google Hangout. And you also have the chat, which I could get from that previous screen. So people can type messages into this Google Hangout. The last place to look for features is the Google Hangouts label over here on the left. This will show the title of your event. So I have named mine Google Hangouts, that's why it says that. But if you called it kindergarten parent meeting, then that's what would be what it would called. So if you click on that, you'll see the details from your setup, the joining info, which you can also copy again here, and then the attachments. You can't add any attachments here, but if you go back to your Google Hangouts here and you open to edit, you can add attachments such as an agenda or any other information that you want to include. So I'm going to go ahead and click on attachment here and just add a file from my Google Drive so that you can see what that would look like. So let's say I needed to add this information. So now it becomes part of my event. And now when I'm back in Google Hangouts, I'm going to close this and then open it again. And now you'll see that all of my parents could click on that and get to it, or all of my students could. So this is a way to kind of give more information to your participants in your Google Hangouts. One other thing you can do while you're in here is you can add more information to this description, which could include a link. So you could take this, you could turn it into a link. And now, when I save it, and I go in here and I go to Google Meet, I'm going to close this again, open it again, and now we'll see that the attachment is still there, but in the details, now the link is possible for people to click on when they are part of this. So if there are links that are important to you for this meeting that you're having, this is a great place to put them. So again, that was in the event, editing, and then I added it in this little description down here at the bottom. So those are the basic features of Google Meet and how it works. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.